Karen didn't knock. She didn't call. She didn't even hesitate. At exactly 7:42 a.m., the tow truck rolled into the quiet cul-de-sac like it owned the street. And standing there, arms folded, lips curled, pearls stiff against her neck, was Karen. HOA president, self-appointed ruler of the neighborhood, and today, she had a target. Marcus Hill's car, the same car parked in his assigned disabled space. The same car with a clearly displayed handicap placard. The same car Marcus relied on to get to physical therapy after losing partial mobility in his right leg. Karen tapped her clipboard and said loud enough for the neighbors to hear, "Rules are rules." Expired registration. Violation 8.3C. Marcus stood on his porch, leaning on his cane. "Ma'am, I renewed it. The sticker just hasn't arrived yet." Karen smiled, slow and venomous. "Not my problem." The tow truck operator hesitated. He looked at Marcus, then at the placard, then back at Karen. She leaned in and whispered something. That was all it took. Chains clanked, hydraulics whined, and in under 60 seconds, Marcus's car was lifted off the ground while neighbors peeked through curtains. Humiliation is quiet. It doesn't scream. It settles in your chest while someone else smirks. Karen turned toward the watching crowd and said, "Maybe this will teach people to follow community standards." But what she didn't know was that Marcus never leaves home without his dash cam running, and it had been recording long before the tow truck arrived. Karen didn't know about the second camera, the small one mounted inside Marcus's garage, the one pointed directly at the driveway. By noon, Marcus was sitting at his kitchen table, jaw tight, replaying the footage frame by frame, audio included, crystal clear. There it was, Karen stepping closer to the tow truck driver, her voice low, but not low enough. "She's behind on dues. If we make this painful, she'll either fall in line or leave." The driver shifted uncomfortably. But the placard. "I don't care," Karen snapped. "Hook it." Marcus paused the video. He wasn't behind on dues. Not a single payment missed. In fact, he had receipts every month on time, which this meant this wasn't about registration. It wasn't about rules. It was personal. And that's when the footage captured something even worse. Karen glanced toward the house and laughed. Maybe he shouldn't have moved into a neighborhood he can't maintain. Silence. Not from the video. From Marcus, because the neighborhood had helped build that ramp after his accident. They had welcomed him. All except Karen. By 3 p.m., the footage was backed up in 3 places. By 5 p.m., a copy had been emailed, not to the HOA, not to the tow company, but to someone Karen had publicly mocked at the last board meeting, Attorney Daniel Reeves. And by sunset, Karen's phone started ringing. If this is already getting under your skin, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? Karen thought the ringing would stop. It didn't. By the next evening, every HOA board member had received the video, unedited, unfiltered, with captions and a timestamp. The emergency meeting was scheduled for 6:30 p.m. Karen arrived early, chin high, pearls perfectly aligned. She carried a thick binder labeled Enforcement Actions. She expected applause. Instead, she walked into silence. Daniel Reeves was already seated, calm, composed, legal pad open. Marcus sat beside him, cane resting across his lap. The screen at the front of the room flickered on. Karen froze because she recognized the frame. Her voice filled the clubhouse speakers. "She's behind on dues. If we make this painful." Gasps. One board member shifted uncomfortably. Another avoided eye contact. Then came the second clip. "I don't care. Hook it." And finally, maybe he shouldn't have moved into a neighborhood he can't maintain. The room changed. Not loud, not chaotic, just cold. Daniel stood. "For the record," he began evenly, "Mr. Hill's dues are fully paid. We have bank statements. We also have evidence of selective enforcement, discriminatory remarks, and intentional misuse of HOA authority." Karen's composure cracked. "That's taken out of context." Daniel didn't raise his voice. "It's time-stamped." He slid a document across the table. Demand letter. Civil claim for damages, emotional distress, wrongful towing, and ADA-related discrimination. Karen's hand trembled as she reached for it, and that's when the tow truck driver walked in with a written statement. The tow truck driver didn't look at Karen. He handed the statement directly to the board. Signed, dated, notarized. "I was instructed to proceed despite visible disability credentials," it read. "I expressed concern. I was told to hook it anyway." Karen's chair scraped sharply against the floor. "This is ridiculous. I was enforcing policy. But policy doesn't whisper personal grudges. Policy doesn't mock someone's mobility. And Policy certainly doesn't ignore federal disability protections. Daniel didn't rush. He didn't need to. He placed one final document on the table, a notice of intent to file. The claim named Karen individually, not just the HOA, selective enforcement, abuse of authority, discrimination, personal liability. The board president cleared his throat. Effective immediately, Karen is suspended pending investigation. Suspended. The word landed heavier than any gavel. Within a week, the tow fees were reimbursed. Within 2, Karen resigned. Within a month, the neighborhood voted to amend enforcement procedures, transparency clauses, oversight requirements, recorded approvals. Marcus got his car back the same day, but what he really reclaimed was something else: dignity. And here's the eye-opener. Power without accountability always records its own downfall. Sometimes, literally. If this story made you feel something, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And tell us in the comments, where are you watching from?